We have Josh Tysinger with us. Josh, I was going to pitch it over to you here, and you can share a little bit about yourself. We're going to be talking the Awana store. So at some point in this, if feel free to populate questions into the chat or unmute yourself if you're brave enough to. But yeah, we just want to learn together about what we're doing with the Awana store and hear from what Josh is doing there at Oakview Baptist. So Josh, please introduce yourself.
Sure. So I've been at Oakview for July will be 16 years. So when I came here, Awana had already been going there. I think this is our 20th year of Awana. So I, after college, went on staff at Campus Crusade for 2 years, went to Sweden, then came back here, been here for 16 years, got married here at the church, and we have a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old son. So yeah, things are going pretty well.
Awesome. And I know every Awana club has a ton of fun. But I know every time I go to Oakview, I mean, this you guys have fun. Like you guys always have a great time all throughout the night. It's a blast. And I know that really carries over, into what you do for your Awana store. So, I mean, the Awana store, I mean, we all kind of know it's meant to be that incentive. The kids get their bucks. Tell us a little bit about what the Awana store looks like for you all. How does it bring that energy and excitement and motivate the kids?
Sure. Yeah. So what you're talking about us having fun. So our pastor, when I first came here, he's like, listen, we have Sundays, we have, we do a lot of serious stuff, but Wednesday nights, I want them to enjoy coming to church, that they remember that experience, they have a good time. So it's very intentional for us that we have a lot of good times, and we easily can do that through Awana. But when I came, they had set up a store. It was not in this location. I'm in the store right now, but it was in a smaller, more of like a closet. We actually use it for a closet now. They had got, which we still have, I'm sitting at it, some display cases that you would see in a store, just glass, and they got them free. And the kids just absolute, it was just mayhem at this store. So it's in a small area, small hallway, small closet, and it would just be completely packed. Yeah, so the incentives are great for the kids because, in fact, I got how they earn their money. But if they read a verse for the night, they get $1. If it's their birthday, they get money. If their team wins, they get money. So there's all different kinds of ways they can earn. Sometimes if the kids just listening real well, we'll go over there and hand them $1. So they're, just all different kinds of ways and incentives so that they can come to the store, and it's worked really well for us. Yeah.
So you started off in that smaller space, and now you've grown. Now, some people might think you're a little crazy, though. I mean, how often do you all do your Awana store?
So we do the store every week. It's a big part of our night. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Our Awana has actually done, I think somebody else was saying, we've done really well this year. It's actually been one of our best years in a couple of years. Well, especially during COVID, but even before that. But yeah, logistically, we were looking for another room. So this is in our children's building. We had a room open up. I would actually not like to use this room. I'd love for us to have a ton of babies that we could use this. We just don't have, still have a baby room, but this was kind of an overflow baby room. And we just were not using it consistently. So we moved over here, and this room's about twice the size of what we had. And we were able to add, we have a snow cone machine that we've added over in the corner. And we do those each and every Wednesday night. And then we have somebody who manages the store, and so they're here every week.
Yeah. Now, I know that not everyone can do the store every week. We're not saying that that's necessarily something that you have to do and stuff, but I mean, for what you all do, I mean, when I've been there, it's kind of been like the Awana after party kind of thing. Like, yeah. Is that how it was when you came on, or how is that kind of?
Yeah, so I guess I was kind of oblivious. I really knew no other way than just the way it was, that we did it every night. In fact, I think I was telling you at one point, I wasn't even able to get into the store because the old store used to be so crowded. So when we would release, I mean, kids would just, with their parents flock to that other store. So now I actually made a commitment. I try to do the snow cones every week just so I'm in here with the kids. But there's a lot more room now and can come in here and kind of see everybody. But it's just a fun place to hang out. Everybody's trying to get in line to purchase something or to look at what we have for the night. So yeah, it's a fun time to come out and great way to end the night.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to pitch this question to you, Josh, and then others again, if you guys have some thoughts on how, what you've seen or how you do this. I mean, definitely chime in here. But Josh, tell me about how you all organize the store as far as like pricing, as far as like items that you keep in stock. Like, go through what are some of the things you can tips on that?
Right. So we have some basic stuff. So I'll show you some stuff. Like we have there's a little candy bucket that we have. There's just all sorts of fun candies. That's not our highlight. It's not what it's not the only thing we carry, but these are cheap. So it's like 3 for $1. A lot of our stuff, the way it's priced is however much dollars wise it costs is how we do it. We change it into Awana dollars. For example, this is, some of it's actually doubled though, like Lego sets. These are can be kind of pricey for us. So these are like 70 Awana bucks. So they have to work a pretty good while to get that. But then you have
not much of a price markup actually.
Lego market. Sure. Yeah. Now, one thing that our manager is really good at doing, or Wendy, she handles the store, is she finds a lot of this stuff on clearance or end of year. Target usually has a rack where they're getting rid of a bunch of stuff. So she finds great deals on all this stuff. She gets a lot of our stuff from Five Below. So there's just all kinds of cheap ways to do it. We also have some, which we try to highlight. We have some Bible resources. So like this is Our Daily Bread for Kids. And we actually try to make these a little cheaper so that kids maybe flock to them a little quicker, but like 10 Awana dollars, they can get this. And we even during our large group time emphasize these, but of course they like the stuffed animals is probably our biggest hit this year. So like these little guys, we sell a ton of these, and these are 15 Awana dollars.
Okay. I mean, I love that you have Wendy and she just loves the shopping. I mean, I think we can all think of people in our churches that like, if you ask them to sit in a small group and, lead a discussion with TNTers, like that's never going to happen. But if you just say, hey, you have the spiritual gift of shopping, like, can you just find some good deals and if the church can, we'll reimburse you. Otherwise, maybe it's just somebody that, wants to be able to, give cool incentives and stuff for the kids. So it's so neat to see how she's able to contribute in that way. And we talked a little bit about so getting to the funding part of it. Do you have a budget for like the Awana store? How does that work?
So we have a general Awana budget. And so the way we work here is we charge a general fee at the beginning of the year for everybody, and that just covers their book, their stuff, anything they need throughout the year. And then we ask them to bring a quarter a night for offering. Some people bring more, whatever, but we just ask for a quarter a night for offering. And so all of that money is then brought back in, and that's used to buy all this stuff in the store. So usually at the beginning of the year, we try to get low on stock at the end of the year, and Wendy will go make a big run at the beginning of the year. But again, if we find deals on stuff, like a couple of years back when the fidget spinners were huge, we went and we got a great deal from a person who just had a bunch of them. We said, hey, how many, if we buy 100 of them, how much would you give them to us for? So we find ways to try to cut down costs for us as much as possible.
Awesome. Well, if you're just coming on, Josh has been talking about what they're doing with the Awana store. they're pretty nuts. They do it every week. The kids could come and spend their dollars on a weekly basis. I wanted to give a chance just to kind of pause, and if there's a question that somebody had, give you a chance to sip your drink there. Yeah.
I had a question. So what is the time frame for your Wednesday nights? Like, I know ours, by the time we're done, like parents are already picking up. I couldn't imagine trying to do a store at the same time.
Yeah, so we run from 6:30 to 8. And one thing that worked really well for us this year, because of COVID, we try to see some adjustments. So we went to Sparks and TNT switching every other week coming to the store. So Cubbies get out at 7:45. We allow them to come in here at 7:45. They can get out by 8. But one thing that we found out is that how much the parents like it. It was something that we thought was going to be temporary. So we thought one day we just open it back up. But we started hearing people say, hey, we love this because every other week we can head on at 8 o'clock and we can blame it on you. Okay. So, and that's fine. It's like I told David, there's some times where siblings come in and we're not going to, say, hey, we're not selling to you tonight, but it gives the parents that opportunity to head on out at 8 o'clock. So it is kind of late. We're usually in here till about, on a normal night, the last people out here is about 8:20.
You definitely got to make sure you start your club on time, right at 6:30 to not pushing it out too late. That's for sure. There was a question asked Josh about if there's a number of bucks that they can earn in a night. Maybe you could kind of talk about what they earn bucks for, and do you have any kind of caps on that?
Yeah. So here's kind of how we do our dollars. If they recite a verse word perfect, they get $1 per verse. If they complete a jewel, they get $1. And if they only miss Awana twice during a 9-week quarter, they get $1. Okay. They can also get $5 by completing a handbook, by bringing the same friend 3 times in a row, if it's their birthday, and if they only miss, if they only miss Sunday school twice in a quarter. So they can get a $5, so an extra reward there. And if their team wins that night, they also get, each member of the team get $1. And we also do, like in our large group time, we always have a large group, like a game time. We do our Sparks and TNT are together, so we actually do a game, Sparks versus the TNTs, and each of those contestants will also get money for just participating.
So I was supposed to get money then. I participated.
You were. I owe you some Oreo.
Man, maybe I could have got myself a snow cone.
Yeah.
So Caroline asked about summer birthdays. How do you reward those?
Great question. So for birthdays, we give, of course, we give $5. We also give free snow cones that month. So we do like a little button that says happy birthday on it. It's kind of, if you've been to Disney World, they give you their little button that says happy birthday. We do that for our kids. And so they can get a free snow cone, one free snow cone that month for their birthday. So last night we had Awana. We always do them at the beginning of the month. But for May, we did May, June, July, and August. So we had, we sold the most, or did the most snow cones that I can ever remember doing last night. But we try to do everybody to make sure they're recognized for their birthdays during the summer. Okay,
since we've been talking snow cones, I know that's a very, from my experience, a unique offering in the Awana store. So if someone was to want to try and implement that idea, what's the cost that you put into the snow cones?
Well, and I think one thing to remember is I've been here 16 years, so not all this stuff happened overnight. And I'm very resourceful. So the snow cone machine came up one Black Friday. I was just happened to be on Amazon. It was there, and I said, "Oh, there's a snow cone machine on sale for Black Friday," and I went ahead and bought it. So we've had it since 2013. In fact, I was looking back to see how much we paid for it. It was around, they're around $300 to $500. I think we got this one for $400. It's a commercial one, so it can do a lot of ice. But I mean, you can, once you get that, we've over time, we used to, we just fill a cooler up with ice, put it near it. Since then, since 2013, we've been able to get an ice machine in the room because we just do so many a night that it helps us a lot. But yeah, the syrup, you can order off Amazon for like, $20 for a pretty big container of it, and it lasts a good while. But it became more popular than I think we were imagining. I think we thought we may do it once a month, and the kids were just, I was telling David, even during the cold, the winter, we thought, what are we going to do during the winter? Nobody's going to want a snow cone. That's just not the case. They want those snow cones even during the winter. So we've just tried to keep it going.
Very cool. There was a question about the schedule for the night. I think we're just thinking about that, how to fit in the 6:30 to 8 time frame.
Yeah.
Do you have that off the top of your head? I know we didn't really.
Sure. So for us, and this is another adjustment that we've made, we found that coming back from COVID was a great time to try some stuff we've never done. So we actually started our large group at 6:30. Part of that reason is a leader reason. A lot of our leaders, we found out, we used to do family night suppers at our church. We don't do that anymore. And so a lot of our leaders were getting here right at 6:30. So we figured if we can do large group time first, then I'm here, and we have another guy on staff that works with our Awana. So we have at least 3 or 4 people that we know will be in there early. And then our other leaders, if they can get there, right at 6:30, if they had to. So we do it from 6 to 6:30. Then our TNTs head to game time. Our Sparks are in handbook time for the next 30 minutes from 7 to 7:30, and then they switch. And from 7:30 to 8, TNTs do their handbook time, and then Sparks finish with their game time.
Cool. And correct me if I'm wrong. It's $3 for a snow cone, right?
$2 actually.
Two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
$2 for the snow cone, and then so that's one of the things that they could buy at the store. Is a snow cone.
Right. Yep. And we probably do most nights an average between 20 and 30 snow cones a night.
So what are the other like hot items? I know you mentioned like that stuffy you had up there, but like what are the other things that you've seen the kids really have enjoyed seeing as part of the store?
So I asked our Awana store, our hero Wendy. She said that like Kinder eggs have been huge this year. My daughter actually loves these. We do a lot, of course, of the stuffed animals. These guys have been huge hits, and we even have some really big ones. Let's see if I can maybe show you over there. Yeah, that one up there is a big octopus. We do have some bigger stuff up there. Like there's even a razor. But again, all that stuff I think she got on clearance at really good deals. So even though they look like they're huge, big products that people save a lot of money for, they're not super expensive for us. We do have a couple of Nerf guns and Legos and like little racetracks that they can get to.
And I know you mentioned like there's Bibles and things like that as well. So you have a pretty good. So for us, we don't sell Bibles. We make sure to just give a kid a Bible if they need one. But we do have resources like the daily bread. We have Fruit of the Spirit, Dominoes, some different resources they can take home and use. Very cool. I was going to bring up a picture here. So that's like on a store night, the activity there that's happening. So that's where Josh is at there at the display case. Don't tell Wendy I had to put the picture of her up here. That's between you and me, Josh.
Yeah, I got you. And all those display cases, again, somebody thankfully donated that big M&M you see over there. Somebody donated that to us. So we've been blessed that somebody has given us all that.
Yeah, so it's basically like a snack shack / Awana store.
Right, for sure.
So a question on like how to track the bucks, how do you keep record of that? Or is it something you're handing out to the kids? Is there like a master sheet?
Yeah. So we for example, last night I had to help in a handbook room. Once the kid does their verse, we automatically give them their $1. Once they're usually what we've done to save a little time is the points are based. So when they go through there and get their like jewels or whatever, it's based off last week's. So people are not. We used to like count them all up and try to do them at the end of the night, and we just delayed that a week. So that's given out during that time when they're handing out jewels. They hand those out real quick, and they'll get their money then. At the end of during game time, they'll go ahead and get their money. So they're getting them. Most kids have a Ziploc and their Awana bag, and so they're just putting it in there and collecting it. Some kids will. In fact, I had a kid that graduated several years ago, save all his money, came to me last night, had like 230 Awana bucks, and that's what he could buy. So we got to work with him and figure out, which was actually good because we need everybody's, there's a coin shortage. We're shortage on Awana dollars right now.
Yeah, that was perfect into Hector's question there, because I know Awana used to sell Awana shares, Awana bucks, like with the Awana graphics on there. I do know that you can get stuff up on Pinterest. There's different people have different examples of some Awana currency. You don't happen to have anything on hand there of what you all use, do you, Josh?
We still use the regular Awana dollars. We still have enough of those to use. Just to let you know, we are in the process of designing our own. So just for fun, we have some people that can do that, and so we're gonna try to maybe even implement some of the staff or just for fun on some of the bills, just to kind of add to the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Are there any rules against us designing our own?
No, no, it's not. Nope. You're welcome to use whatever you want to. It's not an Awana produced item anymore. So yeah, be as creative as you want to be with it. What about rollover points, Josh? Do you allow that, or do they have to spend it?
No, they can hold their dollars over the summer if they choose to. So next week is our last night of the store. So sometimes we'll have a big rush, but some kids are better than say my kids, because my kids want to spend their money, a little quick. But some of them want to save for some of these bigger items. And when you have a kid like that, what we try to do is, because sometimes they have their heart set on one item, and we've had the situation before where that item was bought, like maybe even a week before they were about to earn their money. So in that case, we will go and find that product again and make sure they get it. Because we've had kids come in there, hey, we're almost there. But yeah, we do let it roll over. And so on our Awana dollars, we have stamped them all OVU Baptist. And so we know when they come back that they're ours and not from somebody else. Every once in a while, we have a kid that comes from a different club that may have money. And if it's not like in a crazy amount, we let them go ahead and spend it here. So
doesn't mess with your inflation too much or anything.
No. And we could use the dollars. So
yeah, it's a shortage, right?
Yeah.
I like Carmen's tip in the chat about giving the kids the option of buying toys for Operation Christmas Child, or even just anything to fill up those shoe boxes. They could buy that at the Awana store.
That's great.
I've heard of churches doing similar things with a canned food drive. They could buy canned food, non-perishable food items that are donated to a food bank. I've even heard of churches that would allow the kids to donate their bucks. And so the Awana kids will donate bucks towards missions, and the church will match whatever the kids donate in actual dollars. So as a way of helping to get the kids, involved in missions and thinking that way too. So Carmen, good idea on the Operation Christmas Child. That's a really cool idea. I know, obviously your store's fun and there's a lot of different stuff that kids can buy. So there's a lot of incentives and stuff there. But what I thought was really cool as I was talking with you about this was really the unintended benefit of the store that you guys came across as you've experienced it. So tell me about that.
Well, yeah, one of the things that we learned, especially after we started doing the snow cones and after we moved, because again, the room was so small that I hardly ever went into the Awana store before we moved to our new room, because it was too packed. So to try to let our workers and the kids in there, I would just hang out somewhere else. And but when I started going into the store, one of the things I was able to do was connect with parents in a way that I was never able to do in other places. So parents would come in and they would be there on a weekly basis, and I could get to talk with them, even doing the snow cones, because you know it's not like it's a hard task. So I'd get to spend a little more time with the kids and get to learn them and their names, but then also their parents who a lot of times when they're dropping them off, it's real quick, or when they're picking them up, they're just trying to get in the store. But when they're in the store, their kids, and y'all know kids, they're going to look for 5 minutes trying to figure out which item they're going to get. So you have those few minutes with the parents that we normally wouldn't get. So yeah, connecting with parents was a huge benefit that I did not realize.
Yeah, so simply having to have a parent there as you're at the store, it gives them a reason to hang around, right?
Mhm.
I mean,
Yes.
it's anything that can give them a reason to linger, and obviously they want their kids to get the things that they've earned and get to spend their Awana bucks. So
Mhm.
that's really cool. I'm glad that it's been a benefit, not just in the kids, but from the parental, connecting with the parent side of things there too.
Yep.
All right, so I mean, we looked at pricing, we looked at funding. I mean, you talked about you have points for like the team incentive, so they earn points. So you have a winning team, and then you have the bucks for your individual incentive for the kids. So I really like that. And then you talked a little bit about the changes that you made, just doing Sparks and TNT on each night. I mean, I guess that was just something that you'd done just as a COVID measure, and it's actually turned out to be something that you're going to stick with it, right?
Yes. So again, parents really appreciated that. So it was just, in fact, my wife, with us with a 7-year-old, she was like, I love this. I can tell her we got to go on home. And because it is, it's 8 o'clock, and a lot of kids try to get them in, our kids in bed by 8:30 or 9 on Wednesday night. And so with the ability to do that every other week real easy, then I think next year will even be a little smoother because the kids will get more and more used to, hey, it's every other week. So we have signs out advertising that, and I think it means a little bit more to them when that there's that week break. They're more excited to come the next week.
Yeah. And what I hear in you saying that too is this doesn't have to be something that the kids are at every week. I mean, if
No.
this is a church that doesn't have a designated space for a store,
Yeah.
they could do something once a quarter, like they might do, or like the last meeting of the month kind of thing, and set it up and make it as fun as they could make it, for that situation.
Yeah. And I think one thing, I was thinking about, our kids are a little spoiled. And again, I was just completely used. I thought that's how everything worked. We just have the store every week. But if I went away from that right now, there would be rebellion, but if your kids don't even know that, then certainly, doing it once a month, once a quarter, advertising, hey, we're having the big store. I could see that being extremely exciting for kids.
Yeah. Cause I think, that's probably the more common is like once a quarter, or, maybe once a month or so, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you definitely don't want rebellion at this point. So no mutiny.
Exactly.
Well, cool. Well, okay. The question about if they lose their money, that never happens, right?
It does. So we had that happen. Not necessarily they lost. We had so during COVID, we were online, and so we had several people that were very faithful, several kids. So we made sure they got plenty of Awana dollars, and one of their parents accidentally washed their Awana money, and it just shredded. So they came, they had I think it was over 100 Awana dollars, and so at that point, we were like, okay, we trust that that's the case. And so we if a kid has that many, we'll make certificates that say 100 Awana dollars, so we can actually get some of those ones back. So we made our certificate. Other than that, we haven't really, surprisingly, had many issues like that. So that at least the parents have come and told us about. So we I guess in some ways it's been a good thing, but we do try to reimburse them if we know are pretty sure that that's the case.
Yeah, that's good. Especially when it's mom and dad's fault. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. For sure. I can grab a couple of $1 just to show y'all if y'all haven't seen those.
Yeah, sure. Grab what you got. Sure. Yeah, and sometimes you might do the store like once a semester, and sometimes churches may even just do once a year with their Awana store, and maybe do like an Awana fair or an Awana carnival or something. At the end of the year is another option.
This is a really old one, actually.
That's got the game guys on it. Yeah.
It's really old, but we've stamped these. These are actually the newer dollars, or the newest ones that I think they have.
Yeah.
And then they have, so it's kind of like Monopoly money, the 5s.
Kids love having that money, though. It's something about it. Burns a hole in their pocket.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, any other questions for Josh? Or comments on things that you do in your store?
So I missed the thing about the snow cones because I was between my walk and trying to get home. But how much is the snow cone?
Sure, they're $2.
Okay.
Yep. And I'll tell you, I'll try to walk over there. Hopefully I won't lose connection. And again, we were, so this is our snow cone area, if you can see it. And we were given thousands of cups from a place. So we just use these cups. I mean, I have them, they're everywhere. We just fill them up. So we haven't had to pay for any cups. And then we just use, these are big jugs of syrup. And these don't have as much sugar in them. They're not as sweet. So some parents don't want their kids to have the red one for some reason. I think I heard it excites them a little bit more, so they might get the grape or blue. But yep, that's our machine. And it's our youth have a popcorn machine, and so we considered that. The problem is popcorn takes probably at least 30 to 45 minutes to clean up afterwards, whereas ice just melts. So it takes like a few minutes. So time-wise for us, it's way better than popcorn or other stuff.
That's a pro tip right there.
Yes. Yes. It's way easier to clean.
Well, we don't use Awana bucks, but we use like this sticker chart which I'm sure they would like that, but we use a sticker chart that's like 8x5, has 40 stickers on it. And so when they get that filled, they used to come to the store, except for Puggles. I have the Puggle sticker chart, but so we use that. And then I think Cubby's has one that's got 25 stickers on it. And so they just come when they get that filled up, and there's no really like once a month or every 2 weeks or whenever their leader will say, oh, you got this filled up, you got to go to the store tonight,
Mm-hmm.
And usually they do let me know when I'm running around and tell me we're going to be in the store in about 5 minutes. And I was like, okay, I'll try to be there, so, but that way we just stick the sticker chart in their folder that we check everything else off on. And so we kind of keep up with all their stuff, I guess, because it's a sticker.
Yeah. That works.
Yeah.
Kids like stickers. That works.
So I have a question. So I really like this idea, and Josh, thank you for sharing that. That's very insightful. We've done something pretty much the same every single time where we've done the points, but the points is obviously based on whether they bring their uniform, whether they bring their Bible to the night and things like that. So everybody kind of had the same standard of how you give points and how they earn points. How do you go about determining, like for all your leaders, for all the various groups, what they give the kids Awana bucks for, Awana dollars for? Like, what is your standard?
Yes, so we have, I can see if I can, if you can see it. We do have, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we have forms in our Awana rooms that kind of go over like what they get their dollars for. So we try to make it. There was a time, and I'll give an example where and it was just bad communication on my part. So we have theme nights. So for example, one night we had a PJ night, so wear your pajamas to club. And if they do that, they would earn points. But I found out TNT was given theirs $5 for wearing a uniform, and Sparks wasn't. So especially if you have siblings, they would hear, hey, oh wow, we get $5. So trying to make it across the board, once we found that out, we made sure Sparks were doing the same thing or Cubbies doing the same thing. But we do have a kind of a set list of, hey, this is what happens each night to get their money. And I will say, just because of the way it's set up, Sparks and TNT have the ability to probably earn more than Cubbies do. But I mean, Cubbies in general have a little easier time getting their dollar because they're not as concerned about them saying it word perfect. So they're doing the verse every night, they're going to get their dollar. Whereas Sparks, you may not earn any money in a night, but you have the ability to maybe earn more money, if that makes sense.
Because you give it for word perfect, you said, right?
You get it for word perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We also give points or dollars, like if they bring a friend, like a visitor, and so they try to bring somebody. And we had one last night, and we've got 2 weeks left. But anyway, that was good.
Hey, you're glad they're there, right? You're glad they're there. They could be a lot of other places. That's good.
We've been doing ours where you mentioned the word perfect thing. So ours, if the kids need like help with one word or something like that, we'll just give them less dollars. So they get $6 if they completed a section or completed their verse, or they get 3 if they needed a help and they weren't quite ready. That way it didn't discourage them from, still getting the verse and, kind of understanding the meaning. So we kind of use that practice. And honestly, we have some kids that have no interest at all in doing the verses. I'm just glad that they're there. So we make sure that we give them money just for being there. But I'll say, so on a normal day, a kid can get, $12 just for coming to Awana and doing the section. But how we do so their dollars, they'll add up pretty quickly, so before long, they're over $100 and they have $150. So, to kids, they get all excited when they think they have that much money. But they don't realize when we get to the store, a $1 item costs $10 in Awana bucks, so we do a 1-to-10 ratio on our items. But it's worked well for us. Probably we've been doing it this way probably about the past 4 years. We make our own Awana bucks. We put pastoral staff on all the dollar bills. So, so the longest tenured folks are on the 50s and the 100s, and and then we kind of work, our way down. So they have a good time with that. And we actually have store next week. So we do the 5 and below. 5 and below is awesome. Dollar Tree now with the Dollar Tree Plus is awesome. They have some really good stuff in there too. So the kids have really liked, some of the new things we've done this year. We try to cut down on candy because the parents didn't like us giving them as much candy. So we've tried to, stick more to toys, and, it might be like one candy option, but we do limits on it so they can't, a couple of years ago, we had one kid who I think he got 40 Airheads, and we got to hear from that mom, the next week. Because
that would totally be my kid. That would totally be mine.
That's a lot of sugar. But no, it's been really good. The kids get super excited about it. What we do, because we don't do it each week, we do it kind of quarterly. But what we do is the week before we do this store, we set all our items out so the kids kind of get a preview of, these are all the items that are going to show up next week, and we always change out the items. There'll be a few that are left over from store to store, but it just kind of teases it a little bit. They get super excited about it. And then that night, that week before is always the double bucks night. So that's when they get a chance to, we do it to encourage them to catch up in their book, which some of them do, but some of them, fully take advantage of. We give extra dollars for gold and silver sections too in the book. And so that's just a chance that a lot of them will take advantage of it on that night too. They hoard them all until double bucks night. See, they're smart. They're smarter than we think. So, they do take advantage of double buck night.
Well, good. And if that motivates them to do the silver and the gold and, know that Bible, just a little bit better. I mean, that's the idea. I mean, that's why we're behind all the maybe limited amounts of candy or toys. Yeah, that's totally it.
One other thing I was thinking about when you were talking, and we can do this because we do it every week, but if a guest does come, we try to get them Awana dollars just so they can experience the store. So, their friend will get money and they'll get money. That way, they can go down there and check it out. And again, we don't hold to if it's Sparks night that a TNT can't come down there. So, if it's a guest, it might be their only experience, and we're certainly not going to tell them they can't come in.
I really love this idea, and it's funny because I was just telling my husband, who's the commander, I wanted to figure out a way to motivate the kids to focus on the verses, because kind of towards the last month, we had several kids that just came and stopped saying verses and didn't finish their books. But I think this would definitely help with that. But Josh, what do you do when you have kids that come and just don't say verses? Do they just not earn any? Like, how do you handle that?
Yeah. So again, if they don't say their verse, there's other opportunities to definitely to get, money. I think one thing that helps is that they see and of course, I'm sure this is the same way with your clubs, but they see their friends earning and they see what they're able to buy in the store. So it's kind of a little side incentive. Hey, like, man, if I just work a little harder, I'll have a little bit more to buy that or this. But they still have other opportunities that they can earn their money. So of course we have that. We have some kids, we have nonverbal kids. So, we have kids and we got to think through that. Like how can they earn their money and make sure, that they're still excited and happy and earn and, able to come into the store. So there are certain situations you got to kind of figure out and work through.
And we also have a lot of unchurched TNT. It's about half and half. We have like 16 or 17 in the class now. And so you do have a lot that do not have support at home. And I'll just tell you, I've had to fill in for TNT some, and I tried to learn the verse all week long, and those verses are long.
Mm-hmm.
And but what the teacher does is for the ones that haven't learned it or don't feel confident enough to even try, if they can find it in the Bible, like use the Bible to locate it, help them find chapters. And just the whole thing, John, and then chapter 4, just knowing what the numbers mean on that verse, it's a chapter and that's a verse. If they can find it in their Bible, they get reward for that too. So some of those kids who don't know the verse can do that.
Yeah, you definitely want to have lots of different possibilities for earning, like what Josh was saying. It's like we want that scripture memory to definitely be like a bigger motive, like a bigger like item, like more bucks for saying the sections and getting the awards and that sort of thing. But yeah, we want everyone to leave club knowing that they had a chance to achieve and be recognized for what they could do. Mm-hmm. So
when you give awards for TNTs, do they have to come in with their Bible study completed as well?
No. So the way that we do the handbook time is we also use that small group guide that Awana provides. So they actually, and actually our large group time is based off the TNT lesson. So they're getting it twice during the night. So yeah, we would love for them to come in with their stuff done. And I think they actually, if they do, they are awarded, more Awana dollars, but I would say that's not the norm.
Okay.
But as they get farther in their handbook, as they get more of like, as like what Brent was saying earlier, it's like if they get the silvers done, if they get the golds done, like that's going to add up over time too. So there is a motivator for them to keep going. But yeah, it seems like what you guys do is mostly just if they can recite the verse, that's
right.
Word perfect. That's what gets them the $1.
Does anybody else do end of year, like book awards?
Yes.
I know that's a big motivator for our kids. Our TNT kids go to Carowinds.
Yeah.
Our Sparks, we do a celebration station here in Greensboro. Our Cubbies, we take to Chuck E. Cheese, and our Puggles, we have a splash pad that we go to during the summer. So we try to encourage them to finish their book with something a little bit higher value, and it seems to work. I think we have, what was the count at the other day, 55 kids this year that have completed their books that we're planning for postseason parties for right now.
Awesome. Praise God for that. It's extra work at the end of the year, but it's work you don't mind, right?
A trip to Carowinds, it's okay. They have a good time.
Well, I had a couple things just we're getting close to the 1 hour time frame that I like to try and keep these at. So I wanted to give a couple announcements, and then after I'm done, we can keep the chat going and kind of keep the conversation going as we want to there. First of all, I wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of the new resource Talk About. So Awana has the Awana clubs. We have Bright, which has been out in just the last couple years, and now Talk About has just been out since April. And this is something that parents can do at home with their kids. It comes in a weekly email with just ideas for how to talk about their faith, how to bring up these scriptural conversations throughout the week. So you can get a free month by using the promo code DROACH. So if you want to go on to the Talk About website, I had the QR code up there for it. So if you go to that website and you use that promo code, you'll get a free month, and just to try it out and see what you think about it. It is a monthly subscription, so you could cancel anytime, pick it back up anytime. So if there's a busy time in your calendar year, you don't have to feel like you're getting behind. It's not dated material, which I really like as a dad myself. Like, you just feel like you get overwhelmed and behind, and it's like, I can't do this Thanksgiving lesson now because it's January. So that happens to some people like me. So check out Talk About if you haven't heard about it already. The second annual Child Discipleship Forum is coming up in September 22nd and 23rd. It's live in Nashville again this year. You can also participate in it online. So you can do an online license or live there in Nashville. So this is really an elevated child discipleship conversation. It's not an Awana conversation. It's all about just how to engage today's culture and how to help kids, prepare them for leading the future of the faith. So I know a couple of the speakers we have lined up this year are Andy Crouch and John Mark Comer are a couple of them. I know David Kinnaman with the Barna Group is on to speak again this year. So check it out. The prices there you have on the screen there. So it's going to go up the later you go. So sign up soon, save some money, and be a part of the Child Discipleship Forum. We also have a local Awana ministry conference. This is going to happen at Pitts Baptist Church in Concord. So this is like the one in the North and South Carolina. We all flock to this one. So it's all day. The regular price is $34 per person for the day. We're having an early bird $10 off special until August. So $24 a person for the keynote, all the breakouts, Chick-fil-A lunch. So our theme this year is Believe, the Enduring Truth of God's Word. So We're going to be looking at how we can know the Bible is true, how we can lean on it, and how to help these kids truly believe what the Bible says. So hope that you can join us for conference. The registration for that is open again at that QR code that we have up there. So check it out, share it with the team, save the date. Hope we can see you on September 17th. I don't even think I said the date there, but September 17th, Pitts Baptist in Concord will be doing our Awana Ministry Conference. And then a more local event that we do are these Awana Connect dinners. So 6:30 to 6 to 8:30. So dinner served at 6. We hang out till 8:30. We get some encouragement. We fellowship. So you have the calendar there of events. And then again, those registrations are up on that QR code. That's registration is actually up on the awanacarolinas.org website is where what QR code will take you. So find the one that's closest to you, or if you can't make it to that one, drop by another one. But these are always a lot of fun. We'll play some games. It's laid back. We'll have a good time, and of course there's food. So that's a good draw as well. So be aware of the Awana Connect schedule and hope you can get connected into something, because I love you guys and I always love seeing folks at these different events. So hope you can make it to something there real soon. I'm going to go ahead and kind of just close us in a word of prayer, and we can continue chatting, or you can be free to just be dismissed. So Heavenly Father, thank you so much for ideas like the Awana store that can help more children hide more of your word in their heart. God, we know that these young people need your word in a profound way. And so thank you for each one of the people on this call. And thank you for how we are engaging these kids, how we are shepherding their hearts and instilling a biblical worldview into these little kids. And so thank you for all of the verses that have been learned this year, all of the friends that have been brought to Awana. And God, we want to pray as the summer is fast approaching, that you would bless the summer activities and just continue to be with us as we grow our leadership teams, as we do what we need to do to help this ministry to thrive and to continue to build resilient disciples. Thank you for this calling that you place on our hearts and how you use us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you.